Jill kind of alluded to there. We're going to talk about YouTube today. Here's just a recap on what we've gone over. So personal branding, your website, your business profile on Google, local SEO, which kind of applies straight across the board to all of this. It'll apply today. Social media. Now we're going to jump into YouTube. Excuse me. And then next week, we're going to get into CRM and kind of how to bring it all together and nurture all of the traffic that you're causing from your social media outreach. So today is going to be different than we've done. I'm going to go really hands-on. I'm going to do two things. Excuse me. I'm going to do I'm going to create a YouTube channel. So I'm going to show you the elements of a YouTube channel. Excuse me. And then I'm going to show you how to create a video on Canva. So starting out with YouTube here. So does anybody in here have a YouTube channel already? Okay, so good. We'll do that. We're going to get through this. Let me know. And I know this is, what this really is more of like kind of a high level overview. I wouldn't necessarily expect you to be able to create a video because of this, but I'm going to give you, I'm going to drop a setup guide. And I created this guide as I created a YouTube channel. So it has everything in it you really need at a high level. And then hopefully, with this combined with what I'm going to be presenting today, you'd be able to have a good shot at creating a YouTube channel. And just know that, everything we're talking about as far as social media goes, Google business, all that, YouTube, I think, is the one that you should focus on. And I know everybody has their fear of being on video. And I mean, the only way to get through that fear is just to be on video, kind of like public speaking. I don't know another way to get good at public speaking outside of speaking in public. And that's how you cure yourself. So this is really the future. I think within the next, 1, maybe 2 years, as AI results start to take over when people search in Google, they're not going to be able to touch what you can do with YouTube. So really take a look at it. So real quick, and again, this is basic. This is going to get you a channel. There's other things that you can do strategy-wise and maybe some other things to think about, but this is going to get you up and running with the channel. And the elements of a channel that you need to be aware of. And I think it's a good idea to kind of build these out before you start walking through creating a channel, so you don't wind up with a channel that's kind of half built. It just makes a lot of sense to build these things first. You got the channel banner, and the next few slides, I'll step through how to do these and things to think about when you're creating these. So you have the channel banner, you have the profile picture, and the name of the title of your channel, the description, which is really important as well. And then the intro. I'm not probably going to get into the intro video, but the intro is what happens. You create this special video that whenever somebody hits your channel that's not subscribed, it gives you a chance to kind of talk about your channel and why they would want to subscribe to your channel and encourage them to subscribe. So the first thing we have is channel banner, your channel art. And here's the recommended dimensions. I have this on the guide that I posted. If you want to jump in that and download that, 2560 by 1440. I'm going to show you what the safe zone means. And the funny thing about a YouTube banner is really, it's kind of the center is the only thing that anybody ever sees, but you still need to kind of develop it, with that in mind. There's a safe zone, and I'm going to give you, and you can see it in the fast track guide that I gave. There's a download. You can grab this overlay that'll tell you if you're in Canva and you're creating your banner. It'll tell you that your stuff's in the safe part, and I'll show you what that looks like. So this is pretty much what your file needs to look like. This is mine for that Marketing Systems Collective. And so here's kind of what I was talking about with this centered look. So you have, if you kind of look at where the color is, that's what shows up on mobile. And then you kind of have this little area to the left and right of it. That's what shows up on desktop. And then if you kind of remove that filter, that's what shows up on YouTube TV. And you know, not many people are going to see you that way. They're going to see you on mobile. And you know, if desktop, there's a little bit more you can put in there. But I would just focus on this. I would just focus on making your YouTube channel art or banner fit within this. And what that looks like, I'm going to bring up Canva here and kind of show you how you would do this. So here's a banner. I just pulled a templated banner off of Canva. And you know, so let's say you were thinking about posting this. What would happen is a lot of it would get cut off. So when you know, if you can download this file and bring it into Canva, all you do is you line it up with your channel art, which is already the correct size. So I bring that out. So that's what's going to show now. And the way you fix it is obviously just, you know, like on this one, I would just decrease the font size. I would drag it like this, and that's probably all I would do. I think you're good outside of that. You could play with it a little more, but this is going to show you exactly what's going to show up on mobile and desktop. And if you have this template applied, you're going to get it right the first time rather than having to keep, you know, you'll see when you make your channel, it'll show up wrong and you'll be like, you have to go back and try to change it, see if it's okay. This will kind of cut you straight to the chase, and you'll have your file ready to go. So that's that. Profile picture, super important. You want your profile picture follows you everywhere on YouTube. Everything you do, you make comments. Obviously, it's on your channel. So this is your persona on YouTube. So, you know, I do it as a logo for a business, but if it's you as a person, as a realtor, I would definitely have your headshot in there for your profile picture. Watermark, that's usually your logo. And you'll see when we make the channel, the watermark kind of shows up on your video. So it's just a way of just to continually brand you. It's just kind of an opaque image that shows up. It's always a good idea to always have that there so people don't lose the context. Then the next things you're going to want to build, you know, before you go in and start building the channel is your title and your description. And I kind of have what those look like here. You have to click the more button in the channel to get to your description. But these are important. These are, you know, you should spend some time with ChatGPT you want to have a title that makes people want to click through to your channel. You know, that it's, you know, it's going to be clickable. It's going to be interesting. It's going to motivate. Same thing with your description. That's where SEO comes into play. So you need to figure out what people are searching that are paying your commission and try to get, you know, their search intent in your channel description. It's kind of the SEO. So then if somebody's going to be searching about real estate straight on YouTube rather than Google, you'll have a chance to show up in that search. And video search is a little different than, you know, text search, and that people will look at a whole bunch of videos. So even if you show up like on the, you know, third page, way down the line, people scroll. So they're probably going to see you. So, you know, don't lose faith if you don't show up right away. You'll get there and you're going to get seen. So do we have any questions on that? I'm going to jump in and I'm actually going to build a channel. And it's going to take about 10 minutes. So it's no reason if you don't have a channel for you not to build a channel. It's not intimidating at all. So kind of the way I start whenever I do any sort of graphic type project, the first thing I do is I get all of my graphics, my text, everything like that together. So you see right here, I have a folder. I have text. This is the title that I came up with and the narrative for the about description part. Here's my watermark image. Here's my profile image. I'm just grabbing templated stuff out of Canva. So I don't know this person. Hopefully nobody else does. This is just graphics from Canva. So have all that information ready to go. So as I start to build out my channel, I'll just have it, and then I don't have to stop and start. So now I'm going to go into this. This is one of my YouTube accounts. And the way you get to your channel is you click your picture up in the top right. And then if you only have one channel, all you have to go is YouTube Studio. If you have multiple channels, you want to create a new channel, you click your name and you click View All Channels. And I already have a channel, so I'm gonna create a new one here. So you get to see me kind of walk through that. So create a new channel. First thing you're gonna have to do is name it, and that's where my files come into play. So I have this file already created. It's a Word document, and I'm gonna call this channel Seattle Real Estate with Sarah. Control C to copy that. We'll come back over here, drop it in here. There's my name. I understand that, whatever that is. Create. So now it's making my channel. So now this is just going to be, a blank channel. And the way you get to it now is go back over here, switch account, and then I'm going to click into this channel. And now I'm going to click Customize Channel right here. That's going to take me into the YouTube Studio. And this is just kind of telling you that you're just starting. It's going to try to kind of coach you through it. I'm going to close all this stuff out. So we have all the stuff that we created. I got the watermark, I got the profile, I got the banner, and then I'm going to be putting in the description from here, from that from the Word document. So super easy. And you'll see here, let me go back to that. It opens a ton of windows when you're doing this. So I'm going to upload that channel art. There's the banner, and you'll see the first time through, this is what I was talking about. So basically, I gave you the ability to download this template that goes over the banner to show you what's going to show up. So I did it correctly the first time. I'm not going to have to go back. I'm going to just click done. My banner's in there. I'm going to upload the next one, which is the profile image. So here's my profile image. Done. Got that in there. We already named the channel. That's what this is right here. Handle. You don't want to play around with this. If you get lucky enough to whatever you call it your channel, if you can make that work, go ahead and try. And right there, you can see that I got this check mark out to the right. So I could go with this. And this is what your link's going to look like. So it's really important that you try to make it as close as you can to your title or whatever you're trying to convey. If you have something that's really generic, like Seattle real estate or something like that, you're obviously going to have to mess around with it. But spend some time on this and make sure that you get this right. Really important. Pronouns. You're not going to worry about that. Description. I'm just going to grab that off of my already prepped, strategically written description. So Control C, drop that in there. I'm just going to keep it at English. Here's your channel URL, which will work in addition to, to this one up here. They both go to the same place. This one's just like vanity name rather than just your raw URL. Links, I would add website right here. This is going to show up on your profile. So why not add a few links in here? Get that going. Email address. Here's your watermark that's going to show up on your video. So I'm going to upload that watermark. Boom. Just going to enter. So that's pretty much it. Just to, in a nutshell, to get a channel built. Now I'm just going to go up here to the top, and I'm going to click publish. And now your channel's live. Go to channel, sometimes it takes a little bit to refresh to get your imagery in there because it's kind of processing. So that's it. And there's a few other things you're going to want to do that'll kind of help you out as you start to post videos. First thing, so go over to settings in your YouTube studio. Go to your channel, and you're just going to want to fill some of this stuff in. So I'm going to go, United States. Advanced settings. If you don't select these advanced settings right now, every time you do a video, it's going to ask you these questions. And if you do it here, you're not going to have to answer these anymore. It'll just be quicker. So I always say, no, it's not made for kids. I leave all this stuff alone. And there's going to be some more things that show up in this as your channel builds out. So just the first time through, I'm gonna do this, and I don't know why it doesn't totally populate your channel right out of the gate with all of the options. Let's save that. Then jump back in. There we go. Upload defaults. Advanced settings on your up. You don't want to type this in because it's going to put this in every single video that you upload. So don't worry about this. Go to advanced settings, and you're going to choose. These are the big ones right here. So you're gonna choose your default language, and this comes into play if you want to post captions, which you should post captions to all your videos. This is going to say kind of the language and the certification. And it's basically, it doesn't want you to post copyrighted captions. So I just choose the content's never aired on TV, and that gets me through. And then your language, you're going to choose English. Presumably it could be whatever. If you want people to comment, which you do, leave comments on, and that's pretty much it. So you're going to save that, and now you actually do have a channel that's ready to go.
Eric, I have a question. For the handle, for the handle, is that like you can search for me at like Seattle Real Estate with Sarah? Is that what that's for? Or
yeah, it is. So they can find you by name. That'll get picked off from your title though too, and probably your description, but yeah, your channel handle is really important. And then the fact that you're using that link, out on your business card maybe, or whatever, that just another reason to make it look good. So there's a vanity element to it, and then there's also a search element to it.
I see. And then after my YouTube, like youtube.com, and then whatever I put in there is going to get attached. So that'll be like my, okay.
It's like your YouTube, when people say at whatever, just kind of generically, that usually means that they have their Instagram, their Facebook, and their YouTube all have the same at, or even their LinkedIn for that matter. So if you can somehow line them up, that's absolutely awesome, because all you have to do is throw social media at, boom, and then people just can go to any of them and throw that at after the URL and find you.
Thank you.
All right. So there you go. So it's we're 25 minutes in. We started 5 minutes after the hour. So that was 20 minutes built a YouTube channel. And I know it takes time to get your profile built and, all that kind of stuff, right? But so I really think in under an hour, you can have a channel built, provided you have the imagery that you need. But actually building it, no reason to be deterred at all. It's just so fast to do. So now it's starting to populate. So that's it for a YouTube channel. And like I said, there's a lot more to it, as far as strategy goes, all that kind of stuff. But I always say it's done's better than perfect. So just get in the game, get your channel built, and start thinking about how you're going to use it. If you do Instagram Reels, that's a YouTube short. You can You can cross post that. If you can do, ideally, you're doing a little bit longer videos and you're just splitting those out and using shorter format for, for the different social media. So there's another question.
I have a question. So like, let's say I have a reel. Is there a difference between just a YouTube video and like what you're saying, a short? Or no, it's just a video?
So the short, so YouTube Shorts, is the same format as a Instagram Reel. It's the tall, the portrait. And when if you're in YouTube, you can see there's shorts. So you can sit and scroll shorts just like you would scroll Instagram or scroll like Facebook stories, as opposed to a long format video. So just two different ways of using YouTube, and people I think use the shorts. They use it a lot, so it makes sense to kind of have a game in place for your short strategy. Hope that answered your question. I know I answer way more than I should usually, but
no, that is a very good answer. And I actually have another question. So what would you like, what would be your thoughts in regards to like, I'm going to go live and I just want to do some like live raw footage versus, okay, no, don't go live, like create video and then edit it and then post like a nice, like quality video. Like, what do you think between those two? Like, what are your thoughts?
So there's a lot of conversation around that kind of thing. My personal thought on that is, you can go live, but make sure is it interesting, right? Is it interesting to other people, I think is the question. And it makes sense. Sometimes going live is a mess. I feel like you kind of have to be ready for it. But then as far as producing videos, I'm not convinced that a highly produced video is going to beat just a cell phone video where you're talking about something. If you're well-spoken, you know what you're talking about, and you're interesting, I think that's going to do just as well as a highly produced, well-lit, video with all the B-reel and all that kind of stuff in there. And then it also comes down to like I always harp that done's better than perfect. You got to get some videos out there and you'll start to get better at it, right? You'll start to have awareness as to what looks good, what works. And you almost like when I go around, like when I drive around Oahu, I'm thinking in terms of a video and how I'm going to create it. That's where I am right now. And you'll kind of get there. You'll be like, yeah, that would be cool. I could shoot that. And you can kind of produce it like just as a product of shooting it when you get that level of awareness. It just comes with the experience. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yes, thank you.
Hope this is helping everyone. I'm going to jump now so we're halfway through this, and this one can be fast, it can be slow too, and feel free to ask questions on this. I know the last one was a lot of info. I really think you could follow through based on the instructions that I provided and watching the video and pretty much nail that. This one, maybe not. This one I'm going to teach you how to make a video in Canva, and we're going to walk through it really quick. We're going to make a wide format video, and then we're going to change it to a portrait video, like a reel, and show you kind of that process. And Canva is a little different than any other video editor, but it's pretty easy, and there's definitely applications for it. And I know a lot of people know Canva, and may not know how to use a video application. So this is perfect for that. Or if you just want to create a quick video, Canva's good. Caveat to that, I think CapCut is also very good, and I do demonstrations on how to use CapCut as well. That's totally different though. That's you'll see the difference here. Like if you see my background image right here, that's more like a CapCut with layers. You get the audio down below, you've got the main video running here, and then you got all the different overlays. If you're used to creating video, that's more typically how you do it. Canva's different. Canva uses pages and an audio and a video track. So we're going to step through and kind of show you how to do that. Just something to know about Canva. There's no difference as far as video-wise what you can do. It's a 3-hour video, 4 GB maximum for free or paid. The difference between a free and paid Canva as far as video goes is just what you have access to for imagery, for the different apps like background removals and stuff like that. It's obviously better on the pro version, but you can shoot video on the free, and this is your limitation. And it's this interesting limitation. There's no way you get a 3-hour video that's under 4 gigs. It'd be more like hundreds of gigs. But at any rate, that's the limitations for Canva to be aware of. So I have a scenario that I'm going to teach how to do this, and it's going to be like an open house, kind of a walkthrough type real estate video that everybody kind of is faced with doing anytime you get a listing, or even if you're on the buy side or doing an open house. So coming to the table, kind of ready to build your video, you're going to have your footage, right? So typically when you have a listing, you're going to have a bunch of footage. Usually, I know when we have a listing, our photographer will give us drone footage, kind of that walkthrough video type footage. So you'll have that. If you're doing an open house for another agent, you can do walkthrough video. If they can give you the imagery, great. If not, you can just shoot this stuff off of your cell phone, drop it into Canva, and then start to build your video from that. So if there are any more questions, hopefully conceptually you guys were kind of on the same page. I'm going to jump into Canva and we're going to create a video. So here we go. I'm just in a video template. And the way you do that is when you're, let me go here just to show you how I got to that. So when you go create design, right when you start out of Canva, just type in YouTube video. And it'll just give you a basic template that's going to be sized correctly. Any of these are going to be fine. You just need that 1920 by 1080. And that'll get you started off right. And this is a blank canvas ready to build a video. And, like I mentioned, I have some walkthrough video. I have some drone footage that I'm going to use. First thing we're going to do, and you may or may not want to do this on videos, but just so you see how to do it, I'm going to build an intro, right? So I'm going to start out, just kind of that flash thing with your logo pops on the screen. Pretty easy to do in Canva. I'm going to use stock footage for all of this. So you can, for the intro, you can use stock footage, but I would definitely use your own for the walkthrough and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to search backgrounds, actually video background, right there, video backgrounds. I'm going to actually you should go to elements to do that. I didn't do that. I just did it from design. So again, I'm going to type video backgrounds. And right here, the first hit is in video. You have all these different categories, but I'm just going to go see all in video. Just grab one that you like. Like I think I'm going to grab this one right here. Drop it in. You're going to right click it, set as video background. See what it looks like. Actually, I'm going to take that audio out of there. Show you that later. I don't know. That's not a very good intro. I know it's just a demo, but I want one that's cool. Actually, so I'm going to go intro background. There we go. This will give us something a little better. Yeah, so like this is way better. So I'm going to use this intro background. So all I did was click it. It drops it on the screen for you. I'm going to go set as video background just by right clicking it. You can detach it the same way. So now you have your background. Kind of this explosive background. I'm just going to drop the logo on there. So I've got this kind of logo that's already been created. Go up to uploads. That's where all of the stuff that you upload is saved in Canva. I guess I'm kind of assuming everyone sort of knows how to use Canva. If you have no idea, slow me down a little bit. So I'm going to go back over here now that I got this logo in here, and I'm going to actually drop the background. So I selected the logo up here at the top, BG remover. So there's the logo. I'm going to size it maybe a little better for this. And maybe drop it in the middle like that. And then we'll play. You kind of want to check it as you go, just to kind of see what it looks like. So there you go. The other thing I'm going to do now that I know the logo is kind of centered is I'm going to select it, and I'm going to go animate. So we're going to have it just kind of, we're going to have it come in, you know, with the backdrop. You know, so there's a few different ways you can kind of play around with these. You can have it slide in. You can have it, you know, kind of appear. And then you can play with the speed. Just play around in here to figure out kind of how you want to do it. I'm just going to have this one brush on. And then you can have it, most of these, you can tell it on enter or on exit or both. So I would say both, because this is going to come in and go out, and then it's going to jump into your footage. So I think we're done with that. All right, cool. There's your little intro. And then I would say kind of a rule of thumb for, unless somebody has to sit there and read something, like when we're going to get to, you know, 3-bedroom, 4-bath, 2,600 square feet, you're going to want to make these pages a little longer. But for this kind of thing, you're looking at about 2.5 seconds. You don't want people, you know, with everyone's zero attention span, you don't want them jumping off your reel right in your intro. So now let's look at that at 2.5 seconds. Perfect, in and out. Now we're gonna, so if you look down here to the bottom, these pages play sequentially, right? So you're gonna drop in the next footage. So I got 3 that I'm gonna drop in here. And if you're just shooting it off your cell phone, you don't have to cut it or prepare it. You can drop the raw video right in here, upload it, and you can cut it in Canva. So I have a couple of, I'm going to use some stock footage here. I'm just going to type real estate. There we go. So I'm going to put this. So all you do is, you know, you see I'm in elements here. I see the video that I want. I just grab it and I keep my mouse clicked down and I drop it in the next frame here. So there's the drone footage, and then you see all of these videos. I'll do this backyard. Again, I just hold my mouse down and I drop it in here. And then maybe a kitchen. Yeah, so I'll just drop this kitchen in here too. So now here's 3 videos. You got 8.3 seconds, 14.2, 6. And the way you size these, so like I said, if you kind of want to play them, if you're going to put an overlay on it that people are going to have to read, play it and just make sure that, yeah, I could read it, and then it goes to the next one. Don't let it drag too long, because seriously, people will bail out on your video if they get bored for like a nanosecond. So here we're going to jump over here to this drone footage. What I'm going to do is just drop a title on here. And you want to style it now, and then we're just going to copy and paste these titles on the next. So the style is going to be the same. The animation is going to be the same throughout. So you just build the first one. So, you know, you can see you kind of have a hard time seeing this, right? And depending on what the backdrop is, there's a couple of ways to handle that. You don't want to mute this backdrop. You want to keep it kind of the same because it's the neighborhood that you're selling in. So you can try to make the text lighter. So I'm just going to make this text white. And that's pretty good. So for right here, what I'm going to say is, let's say 3,000 square feet. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, should probably be 4 bedrooms. And then I'm going to do, I select that, I go up here, I go left justified. I do the bullet points, kind of drag this out so it's all on single lines. And you see, you still can't really see that great. I want to increase the font. That's not going to really help even. Bold it. I'm not a huge fan of bold when I don't have to, so I'm just going to bring it back to normal. And then kind of how you handle that is you go into elements and you grab a rectangle. Don't grab a square, grab a rectangle, because a square is going to stay square and not allow you to skew it like this. And then I'm gonna make this a color that kind of goes, with this. So I'm going to select it and just maybe make it. Oh, that's making the text. I'm going to select this, which is the backdrop color, and then I'll make it maybe that color. And then I'm going to round the corners, clicking here. You can kind of do that. And then I'm going to drag this and make sure that I cover this. Control Z is your friend in Canva. It just takes me back. Whenever you mess something up, you can just go right back. I'm going to drag that out so it works. And then I'm going to play around with the opacity, the transparency level of it. So you're trying to make it as transparent as possible and still see the text. The other thing you can do with your text is you can put borders around it. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go effects and just grab this outline. And then you can change the color of the outline too. So like if you wanted to make it red, you don't want to overpower. You kind of get the idea. You can play around with the colors on the outline. So whatever you're comfortable with. So now I have that. Because you have to read this one, watch, I'm gonna, if you go down to the timeline here, this is called the playhead. So you can just click it and you can walk through the video. So I'm gonna put the playhead at the start of that video, and I'm gonna go, how long does it take me to read that? And I'm gonna stop. And then I'm gonna go out to the right of this clip and I'm gonna take it right to where that stopped. It's like see, 3.5 seconds tends to be the number you want to be at. It doesn't have to be exact. Just kind of put it right there. And then I'm going to build the animation on this as well. So like this, I grab this rectangle, I'm going to animate it. I'm going to do, I like breathe. It kind of just makes it come in to the screen. And then we'll make the text a different animation. Something like that. So now you can take the playhead down here at the bottom, bring it all the way to the front, and just whoa, and see how you did so far. And cool. All right. So then I'm just going to jump over here. I'm going to, we don't have to belabor this anymore. Well, actually, like I said, you can go, if you want to just keep the style, I can click on my text. I can do a Control C. I can go back over to this clip, Control V. And now I have the same style and everything with the text, even the animation comes over with it. And I'm just going to say, get rid of the bullet point. Or you want to type out the price. I'm going to call this 2.3. You stretch it out, and now you have a good, dark backdrop to this one. So I don't necessarily need my rectangle if I just put it, say, right here. And then we'll take this one down to 3.5 as well. Hopefully you remember how to do that. The clips have handles on either side of them if you mouse over them. So here we are, offered at 2.3. Maybe I'll put it up there. And it has the same animation. So now if I go to the start of that one, I'm just constantly testing. So that's cool. I like that. And then maybe on this one, I'm going to go back over to this. I'm going to Control C, copy that. I'm going to walk over to this next clip. I'm going to drop this in there and just say like open house Saturday. I think it's November 9th. You know, whatever, however you want to format it. I'm going to stretch it out so it's all on the same line. And then for this one, because it's a white backdrop, I'm going to go up to effects again, and I'm just going to change that outline color to black. So now you'll see it, right? It's going to be the same animation, all that. I'm going to drop this again to 3.5 seconds. I'm going to take my intro, go down here, right click it. I'm going to say duplicate page. These are all considered pages. And then I'm just going to mouse on it, click on it, and I'm going to drag it all the way over here. So you have, now you have an outro, right? So now you basically have your video built. And then the next things you want to do is you want to build transitions between these. And the way you do that is you mouse over the center here and make sure, and you can click the little transition button. If you click the plus, it's just going to add a page in between. You don't want to do that. No big deal. You just right click and delete it. But just make sure you click on the transition. And you know, from going from a intro to a scene, I like to do like a slide, and you can make it slide left or right. You know, up to you. Just leave it at left for this one. And then on the next one, when you're going between scenes, I'm gonna add a transition. I'm gonna do match and move. It kind of blends the two together. It's just a really good transition. You'll see a lot of videographers use. So again, I'm going to do it on this next one. I'm going to say match and move. And then over here, going out to the outro, I'm going to do another swipe, a slide. I'm just going to do it the other way. You got your video built with the transitions, which we'll see in a second. The final thing you want to do is, you know, because you're not talking on this video, you can throw some background music in there. Always helps, you know, people to watch it. So I'm gonna look for background music over in audio, and you can kind of play with this. I usually waste a lot of time trying to figure out what the best audio is. I'm just gonna put whatever in here though. So you just click it, and you see it drops down, right? And if you just wanted the audio to go the intro, and then you're gonna start talking on the next part, what I do with that is I just kind of drag the audio to maybe a little bit into the first scene, and then I right click it and you go fade. And then you can just have it fade out. And then you'll start talking. I mean, as it's fading out, you can start talking. We're not gonna do that here. I'm gonna take that off of there, and I'm gonna, same thing, you know, with dragging the timeline. I'm going to drag this to the end of the video. So now you got some background music, and then let's see what happens. I'm going to drag that playhead all the way over. There's a transition. Then out to your outro, which you can put contact info or anything like that on your outro. And then, you know, now that you're done, you just go over to share, you go over to download MP4 video. And it's going to come over 1080, which is all you really want. You don't even need 1080 for YouTube. And then I'll download it, and now I got my video.
Eric, Angelica has a question.
Go ahead, Angelica.
So, hi everybody. So, if I wanted to have an explanation on the house, I would record it on the phone. I can do a video recording on the phone and then upload it.
Yeah. Okay. And so with that, when you're doing that off of your phone, download Canva, the Canva app to your phone, and then you can upload from your picture reel, perfect. You know, straight into Canva. So you don't have to worry with, you know, getting to your desktop.
Okay.
You know, and kind of messing around with it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, this is, I mean, Canva is kind of its own beast as far as creating videos, but once you figure it out, it's pretty easy to do. And like you see, it's pretty good. You know, I'm pretty impressed with what you can do with Canva.
Right,
I know that was
anyone
a
have any
lot.
questions? No?
And in the, you know, kind of in the future here, when I get my kind of marketing school mastermind online, I'll be doing workshops for this kind of stuff. So just kind of working with everybody can sit, you know, bring your stuff to the table and we'll kind of step through and you can ask questions. I'm kind of picturing like when little kids are finger painting in preschool and the teacher's walking around helping. It's going to be like that.
Yeah. Well, I do insist though in the video, I mean, if you have the recordings, because I mean, obviously, you know, I mean, for me, it's like that setting. I have to be next to the teacher and, you know,
Yeah.
pressing there and playing with it. And at least there's a reference that I can go back like, oh, he pressed it here. He then went over there and, you know,
Yes,
and then
exactly.
actually I think that practice will generate more questions for sure.
I know it's a lot and there's so many concepts in play. Yeah, so just and I dropped the link to the YouTube channel that I just made for all this stuff.
Oh.
I'll throw this. I'll put this video up probably by the end of the week. We're flying. We're doing a red eye to Cabo tonight, so
Oh wow!
we're gonna be out of. Can't wait.
Yeah, Hawaii is. We need a change of scenery, so you know we're going to go over to another. It's raining too much here, so we need some
Mexican food. I need that food.
Real Mexican food.
I need the carne asada. Carnitas.
Yeah, but go ahead and if you subscribe to the channel that he just dropped the link to, then you'll get notified every time he drops a new video in there, so you know it's in there. So, all right. Well, if anyone has any questions, you all know how to get a hold of Eric.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Nice to see all your faces. Bye.
Bye.